What's up, everybody? So today we're taking a look back at the movie Rush Hour. I had not seen this movie in a long time. This movie came out in 1998 from New Line Cinema. And like I said, I hadn't seen this movie in a long time, so I wanted to take a look back and see if this movie was as good as I remembered it. So for those of you that don't know, this movie stars Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker in that, classic buddy cop type film where they're different sides of the same coin, if you will. Both cops, both trying to solve the mystery of a missing little girl who is the Chinese ambassador's daughter. I said missing. I meant to say abducted. She was abducted, kidnapped, whatever word you want to use, and they're trying to figure out who did it and stop them. Now, obviously, the person who did it, or the group that did it, they're holding a ransom. I think it's like $50 million they want for her to return safely. And yeah, they're trying to. Well, the FBI is working with the councilman to actually pay the money and get the daughter back. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker are trying to solve the case themselves. From what I remember, this movie was hysterical. This was a very funny movie, great action, and like I said, this is kind of like a look back at this film. Now, this film was definitely still very enjoyable. Even looking back on it now, we're looking at like almost 30 years later. This movie was still very enjoyable, but I do have to say that I was, from my memory, blending like 2 or 3 of these movies combined. So there was some things that I thought was going to happen that didn't, and so on, which is, on me, obviously not the film itself. Chris Tucker was obviously very funny, but he also did have those moments where it was kind of almost a little too much, like he's over the top constant like scream that he does, that yelling, speaking thing, which I know that's his style, but it does kind of wear a little thin after a while. Still funny, not trying to bash on it or anything like that. It was still funny for what it was. But surprisingly, Jackie Chan had quite a few moments that were pretty funny himself. Obviously, Jackie Chan was definitely big for the action aspect, and there's plenty of that whole like crazy, jumping over things and, making things happen while falling. And yeah, very, very good. I mean, this movie definitely to me was, I would say it had more action than comedy. Even there was a good blend of it, but I definitely think there was a lot more action than there was comedy. And for some reason, I thought it was a little bit more the other way around. I don't know why, but they did a good job. I think the cast was good. I think the acting was really good. I think the film still holds up to this day. There's not, sometimes with some movies you kind of look back on them and you're like, oh man, they didn't age properly, or they aged poorly, I should say, or some of the jokes are not as funny. I feel like this movie's still very enjoyable. I feel like people now could watch it and still really like the movie for what it was. I'm gonna put the scores up on this movie. I actually thought it would be a little bit higher, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know. I thought it would have been a little bit higher from Rotten Tomatoes, but I think it's like in the upper 60s. The film itself, in my opinion, out of 5 stars, I feel comfortable giving this a 4. I mean, this was a really enjoyable film. Like I said, I remember watching it when I was younger. And I just watched it recently after 20 or 30 years of not seeing it, and I still enjoyed it. I think it was a great film. I definitely. It definitely makes me want to check out the Rush Hour 2 and 3, because I haven't seen those in a long time as well. So I'll most likely be doing a video like this on those films as well. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. So yeah, I think a 4 out of 5 is fair for this film. But of course, guys, let me know what you think. Would you rate this movie higher? Did you like this movie? Let me know if there's any movies that I should check out too. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And if you could like, comment, subscribe, and all that other good YouTube stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.